Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head over to Belgium and we're actually going to do a Trappist beer review for you today, and it's my first Trappist one in quite some time actually. The last one I did was Zundert from the Netherlands, and before that Westmalle 12, but these guys should be a very interesting one for us to visit. So we're going to go to Brouwerij der Trappisten van Westmalle, who are from near Antwerp in the north of Belgium in the Flemish speaking region, and today we're having a taste of their Dubbel beer. And what's interesting about Westmalle is that these guys were actually the ones who developed the Dubbel and the Trippel style, and all the other breweries came along, or the Trappist breweries came along and actually took that style and put their own variants in it. So these guys are really quite cool in that regard. So anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll take you through a very brief history of the brewery. It will only be 2 or 3 minutes long, but if you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. The brewery website's in the video description for you below. It is available in English, and please also check out my link that will take you to the other reviews that I've done from Westmalle, and I will add to that in the near future because the Trippel is quite easy to get, and hopefully I can get the extra the next time I go over to Belgium too. And also please like my Facebook page and have a look at my Untappd profile as well. Feel free to add me as a friend on there if you wish. So anyway, to tell you about the brewery itself, the Westmalle brewery, as you might have guessed, is attached to the Westmalle Abbey in Malle in Belgium, which is just to the northeast of Antwerp, quite close to the Dutch border. And of course we are talking about the Flemish speaking region in the north of Belgium there. But the Trappist Abbey is officially known as Abbey onze lieve vrouw het heilig hart van Jezus, so quite a big name officially for the Abbey. But this was founded on the 6th of June in 1794. However, the Abbey community wasn't elevated to Trappist status until the 22nd of April 1836, and the first abbot, Martinus Dom, decided early on that the brewery would brew its own beer, and the first batch was brewed between August and December of that same year, 1836. And the pioneering brewers at the time in the brewery were Father Bonaventura Hermans and Abericus Kemps, and the original beer that they brewed was actually quite a light brown beer with quite a sweet taste. But by 1856 the monks had prepared their second beer, which was a dark brown beer, and this was considered to be the very first Dubbel beer. And the recipe that they actually used for this one though is from a recipe, it's derived from a recipe that was first used in 1926, and the first sales of the beer actually began in 1856 to locals, and a few years later in 1861 it was kind of widened out a little bit. But in 1856, at that same year, the brewery was also enlarged and rebuilt, following the example set by the Trappist of Forges, which is the Chimay brewery, and the Father Ignatius van Ham actually joined the brewing team at that time as well. But another new brewery was built in 1933, and the following year the brewery brewed a strong pale ale which came in at 9.5%, and they gave this the name Trippel, which is the very first modern use of this term Trippel. So as I told you, these guys developed the Dubbel style and also the Trippel. But the brewery was once again remodernised and remodelled in 1991, and it now has a yearly capacity of 120,000 hectolitres, and the current brewery staff are 22 monks and 40 people from outside. So it's quite a secular brewery these days, but the monks do still take part in the brewing. Really quite cool company actually. But anyway, just to list the other beers you can get from these guys, as you might have guessed, there's only 3 of them here, which is to do with the Holy Trinity. So there's the Dubbel, the Trippel, and also the Extra. And I don't know exactly what the Extra beer is like, but hopefully, like I say, I can get a hold of it the next time I go out to Belgium. I should hopefully get out there in the next year or two and pick out a few random Belgian beers for you. So let's actually get on to the tasting of this beer. Now I'll just bring the camera up and let you have a little quick look at the artwork on this one. So as you can see, quite simply presented. You can see the Abbey symbol just up the top there, which is quite nice. But yeah, a nice diamond shape on this, and it uses that typical banded bottle there. It says Trappisten beer around the this kind of band there, and there is the Westmalle bottle cap on this one. In the back it's got things set, it tells you a little bit about the beer in French and in and also in Dutch as well, or Flemish I should say, but this one goes out of date just actually in a month or so, so it should have matured quite nicely. This one obviously is bottle conditioned, it undergoes secondary fermentation in the bottle, so it should be a very nice one for us to try, and it comes in at 7% in ABV. So let's get this guy open and we'll get on with the tasting here. So as you can see, a nice smoky opening there, good bit of carbonation just wanting to escape this one as I pour it out. But the Trappist beers are very interesting. They're one of the oldest kind of still modern beer styles in the world, and you've got 6 breweries, 6 Trappist breweries in Belgium, and you've also got one which is La Trappe from the Netherlands, and you've got a few more modern ones coming out as well. There's one from Italy, one in America, and also another one from the Netherlands, and I think one in Austria as well. So yeah, Italy, America, Austria, and a new one from the Netherlands. Those are the 4 new ones. Then you have the 6 original Belgian ones and the one from the Netherlands, La Trappe as well. So that's in total, I think, 11 Trappist breweries you can get. But some of them are very new. The 4 new ones have only started up since 2012, I believe. So some interesting beer. It'll be interesting to see how these new ones get on. But as you can see, this beer has poured a really nice kind of mahogany rosewood colour, a very dark brown woody colour. As you can see, it's come out quite nicely. There's a good little bit of sediment. I'll just hold this up over there so you can see the exact colour of it through the light, but it's appearing very, very nice. There's a little bit of sediment just floating around there. There's a kind of finger of a frothy, slightly creamy coloured head in this one, I would say, but it looks really nice. Not transparent at all if I put my fingers behind it, like you can see, but there's a little bit of carbonation sticking towards the side of the glass, some big bubbles, but there's quite a few little ones just going up towards the bottom of that head there, so it looks very, very nice. So let's have a look at the aroma on this one. So as you would expect, there's quite a bit of red fruity ester coming out of this one, and it's quite, in the aroma it comes across as quite figgy, but usually in the taste from a Dubbel you expect it to be a bit more plummy and raisiny, but you can still get a good fig flavour from it. But it's quite a figgy red estery note that you're getting from this one. But there's a big bready and yeasty component to this. It's quite a kind of brown bready or cereally note that you get off this, but there's quite a big toasted and caramel malt coming out of this one also. And it's a little bit spicy. So it's got all the things you would expect. There's a big kind of figgy, slightly plummy. When you sugar it up, you actually get a little bit more of a kind of plummy note out of it, I should say that. But it's a big bready and yeasty character that comes out of this one, and some brown bread and cereal notes, but a big toasted caramel malt from this one. So all the things you would expect of your Belgian Dubbel style. It smells very, very nice. So yeah, without further ado, let's get stuck into this one. So this is the Brouwerij der Trappisten van Westmalle from Malle, just to the northeast of Antwerp in Belgium, Slange. Now that's a really, really nice beer actually. Very, very smooth actually. That's the first thing I'm noticing from it. But yeah, a nice big brown bready malt base on this one. That just blankets the middle of your palate right away. But that's just the thing with this one. It really is quite remarkable just how smooth this beer is. You just have to let your palate adjust to it a wee bit. As I was saying, you get a nice big brown bready, slightly cereally malt base. That just blankets the middle of your tongue there. On top of that, you've got just a little bit of a kind of caramel sweetness that just goes right down the middle of the tongue there, and it's quite a toasted caramel, I would say. So it's really, this is the thing with these Trappist beers. This was the very first Dubbel, so it's always interesting to try the sort of original, if you like, but they always just have this really nice dark roasted caramel and brown bread flavour. It really is just beautiful. There's maybe just a little bit of earthy hop character on the very back corners of your palate too, and maybe a very smooth, slightly grassy character just around the rest of the tongue there. It's really quite nice. It's not dry actually. There's not really very much dry character in the mouthfeel in this one at all. It's more of a big kind of big brown bready and slightly yeasty character you're getting off this one. A good bit of cereal in there too. Very, very nice tasting beer this. These Belgian beers are just beautiful, very malt forward, full of flavour, and this one's no exception to that rule. But yeah, the lingering aftertaste in this one really is that kind of brown slightly brown bready, slightly cereal malt base in there, and it just lingers there really quite nicely. But you also get a little bit of the red fruity ester just towards the front of your tongue too, and there's a little bit of juiciness to that. It is coming across as more of a figgy note in the actual flavour. Maybe there is just a little bit of plums too, but it's not quite a sharp red fruit as you can get from some of these Belgian beers. Maybe a good way to describe it actually is a sort of candied fruit. That's probably a good way to say it. But I mean, this beer is absolutely beautiful. There's not much more you can say about it. It's got all the typical things you would expect from a Dubbel, and with it being the original Dubbel, not much more you can expect from it really. Absolutely beautiful beer. So like I was saying, a nice big kind of brown bready malt base, just blankets the middle of the palate, a little bit of earthy hop character around the very back corners of the tongue, maybe a little bit of grassiness, but it's very, very smooth and almost kind of non-noticeable actually. But that builds the transition between the nice bready malt base and the more smooth parts of the beer. But a nice little bit of red fruit, kind of figgy, maybe a little bit of plums in there too, but a nice caramel sweetness, a little bit toasted that goes down the middle of the tongue too. But in terms of the mouthfeel of this one, as I said, it is very, very smooth actually. You'll feel a little bit of activity from the carbonation on the front of your tongue there, but it smooths out very, very quickly. Overall, the beer is a very full-bodied and really quite smooth beer. There's a little bit of an oily mouthfeel to it, and it's a little bit kind of sticky as well, and that's really just the kind of caramel and brown bready flavours mixing together there. It really works well for the beer, but it's a nice, sweet, and quite a toasted beer as well. There is a little bit of bitter character to it, but it really is just the kind of toasted, bready and cereally flavours that helps bring out. But it's got a little bit of juicy character too from these fruity esters that are in there. But as I say, overall, absolutely nothing you can say bad about this beer. It is absolutely beautiful, and the original Dubbel beer, you know, it's not often you actually get to try this beer for the first time. I've never tried this one before, and I don't think I've tried the Trippel from these guys either, so really cool to visit this brewery for the first time. I've been to the Netherlands and drank quite a few different Belgian beers and Dutch beers, but for some reason I never ever got around to trying the Westmalle one, which is obviously a bit of a shame because it's the first one, but first time for everything, and it was worth it. It's absolutely beautiful, so if you haven't tried this one before, really do check it out. But anyway, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. Let me know in the comments section below your own thoughts if you do happen to have tried it before. Please also like my Facebook and add me as a friend on Untappd. In the meantime though, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. I will return to Belgium and also to Westmalle to review some more beers for you. But I thank you again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next one, slàinte for now.